Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And last night, Giancarlo Stanton became just the 58th player in MLB history to slug at least 400 career home runs. A very exclusive club in what has been a century and a half, basically, of baseball. But even though it's super exclusive, it doesn't guarantee you a spot in the Hall of Fame. Now, Giancarlo will turn 34 in November. Unfortunately, his body's been breaking down a bit. Really hasn't been playing the field. So we will see if he can reach 500, which is seen as the magical number. In this video, I'm going to take a look at 10 players I expect to never get the call to Cooperstown to make the Hall of Fame that have reached that exclusive 400 career home run club. That's not to disparage what they did in MLB. They've had mighty impressive careers to reach 400. Again, just 58 guys have reached that number. But let's get into it. I'll name the players in order by their most career home runs, the least. None of these guys are in the 500 home run club. We know some guys in the 500 home run club haven't gotten in yet because of PED use or alleged PED use. So let's get into it. Starting with Carlos Delgado. Carlos Delgado hit 473 homers in his career. What was an impressive career, as he had 9 seasons with at least 100 RBIs as well. Only lasted 1 year on the Hall of Fame ballot, getting 3.8% of the votes in 2015. Next, let's go with Nelson Cruz, who has 464 career homers. He was released by the Padres this year, hasn't signed elsewhere. Cruz has mostly been a DH for much of his career, so probably would have needed that 500 career homers to get in. He also did have a PED suspension earlier in his career. Next, Jose Canseco, 462 career homers. We know there is much PED speculation when it comes to Canseco. I mean, he's written books on it. But even with his MVP and 2 World Series wins, I don't think he would have done enough to get in. He did lead the league in homers twice, RBIs once, 462 career homers, but got just 1.1% of Hall of Fame votes in 2007. Adam Dunn, Mr. Feast or Famine, 462 career homers. Despite that, just a total of 17.9 career WAR according to Baseball Reference. Struck out a ton, 2,379 times, but did walk a bunch. But for the Hall of Fame, received 0.3% of the votes in 2020. Next, batter similar to Adam Dunn, except this guy batted righty compared to Adam Dunn, who was a lefty. That is Dave Kingman, another slugger. Kingman smashed 442 career homers in his career, twice leading the league. Also struck out a bunch, leading the league in strikeouts 3 times. Just a 780 OPS and 236 batting average for his career. Got 0.7% of the votes for the Hall of Fame in 1992. Next, let's go with Paul Konerko. I think WAR underestimates him, just 28.1. They often seem to undervalue first baseman. He had 439 homers in his career, a White Sox legend, 2 seasons of top 6 finishes in AL MVP voting, 5 seasons of at least 100 RBIs, but received just 2.5% of Hall of Fame votes in 2020. Next, let's go with a 2-time AL MVP and a 6-time Silver Slugger, Juan Gonzalez hit 434 homers in his career, had 3 other top 9 finishes besides his 2 MVP finishes. So 3 other top 9 MVP finishes in his career. Twice led the league in homers, once in RBIs, but not really seen as a Hall of Fame contender. He did last 2 years on the ballot. 2011 got 5.2% of the votes. 2012 dipped under that 5% threshold with 4%. Next, let's go with Edwin Encarnacion. His career ended too recently where he hasn't been on a Hall of Fame ballot yet. 424 career homers. Career ended in 2020. He had a total of 6 seasons with at least 100 RBIs and also had 8 straight seasons from 2012 to 2019 with at least 32 homers. Another guy who played a lot of DH, especially towards the end of his career. Probably will not come close to reaching the Hall of Fame. Next, a guy I was a huge fan of when I was younger, so I hate to put him on here, but Alfonso Soriano, 412 career homers, was a 7-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger, 412 homers, 819 OPS, a guy who didn't walk much, so just a 319 career on base percentage, but did have 2 top 6 MVP finishes. But when it comes to the Hall of Fame, 2020 received just 1.5% of the vote. And I'm going to end with first baseman Mark Teixeira, 409 career homers. Now his 50.6 WAR is fairly impressive. But just a 3-time All-Star, was a 5-time Gold Glover as well. Did win a World Series with the Yankees. So did lead the league in homers and RBIs in 2009. That was one of 9 seasons where he had at least 30 homers. But Hall of Fame wise, 2022, 1.5% of the vote. So there you have it. 10 guys in the 400 career homer club that I don't anticipate making the Hall of Fame. I will say some of these guys may have a better case than Harold Baines, who got in by I believe it was the senior committee. But I don't anticipate any of these 10 getting in. Giancarlo still got some time left in his career. He's got an NL MVP on his ledger, runner-up as well. As a Marlins fan, I'd love to see him get in. So many superb seasons with Florida/Miami Marlins. But these guys, let me know if you think any of them do belong in the Hall of Fame. Thought about including Darrell Evans, but I think maybe one of these years he might have a chance of getting inducted. Jason Giambi I could also included, but without the PED speculation, he might have had a chance. I don't know. But again, let me know if any of these guys you think deserve some Hall of Fame love. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.